Hey Virgo, before I get started, all my information to work with me one-on-one is below. This is the first part of the Leo season videos, and I needed a little personal time this month, so I took some, but here we are. And what else? Yeah, all information to work with me is below. The second part to this reading will also be below. It comes out first on Patreon, then on YouTube after that, a little while later, towards the end of the season-ish. I also just started a podcast, so if you want to check that out, that information will be below as well. It is Venusian Current, and that's where I talk about a lot of things, and you can get to know me a lot better. I am very vulnerable, and I share. So check it out. It's a lot of healing, which may be up your alley if you're interested in that kind of stuff, and a personal journey. But here we are having one of you at the bottom of the deck as we start. So this month, Leo season, right? The sun is bright. And I just did Leo video and it was so fucking hot. It took me so long to get started. Then all of a sudden I get to your video and something cools. Something calms down over me. I think what you're beginning to notice is this very natural, not controlled, calm, chill side of yourself that as you get older, as you come more into yourself, you realize that's who you are and you're not doing it just to do it. You're not doing it just because people see that in you. It's just a part of your nature. It's who you are, and it's more of what you want to expand upon, perhaps. You've been working on your independence. You've been working on what your self-worth is, what security is for you, what it means to give that to yourself, to give yourself something more and to commit even more to yourself in a way in which you have no problem doing for others. You may find yourself experiencing swift changes this month, unexpected ones. So he goes from the 9, you see there, and he's still holding on to 1, and then you just have the 1 because you can't really, one way of describing this is you can't like protect everything that's behind him. So some of you are really tired of explaining yourself. Some of you are really tired of having to protect your past or protect what you stand for. And instead of protecting it in a way where it's maybe not helpful, you may find yourself in a place where you're willing to be more vulnerable, where you're willing to speak up, even though you feel less mature than maybe those who are around you. You may feel this complete change, and yes, it can be and feel a little heavy because it is emotional, but it's more of like you're letting go of that. You're choosing to step forward and out into the field in a different way, whether it's putting something out there that you've been working on for a while, whether it's just showing up as you are and not needing to add onto that, not needing to give in to what you once thought was helpful or what you once thought was expected from you. There's a very youthful feeling about this month. Yeah, your season's next month and you're preparing for that, but I think the way that you're preparing is having the courage to walk away from something or someone or a situation or your past or a past situation that is no longer good for you. That it's not necessarily detrimental, but you're not, I don't know, you're just not in a place. So like if you're trying to start a new relationship or, sorry, hold on one second. You're trying to start a new relationship, so it's almost like that. It's like you just want to let your hair down. Or if you're in a relationship, you need more freedom, or you need more space, or you need more playtime. You need less time to give where you may have been expected to give for so long, and it's more about how what you're saying and how you're acting are lining up. Because then how you're feeling, yes, is important. However, it starts to just fall away. You notice where instead of stepping out and stepping forth or speaking up or doing things in that way, you may be overcompensating in other areas. So if you just say it or feel it and allow yourself this space and this connection to yourself, to what's important to you, to come to the surface and be just very honest and swift with it, it doesn't have to hold so much weight. It doesn't have to hold so much of your identity. You can just easily, instead of waiting for an opportunity to strike, you can come early with the offering, with what you think could be improved upon. Or you can just say to whatever person or situation that this is no longer for me. And then you find yourself in some hindsight, gratitude, and contemplation towards the end of the month, towards your season. I'm getting over being a little sick and it was hard for me to talk. So excuse my voice. I think you find your voice more than ever this month. And it's not just the voice of intelligence. It's not just this voice of, I've done this before, or you can do this to be helpful. It's your voice. It's your voice and how you want to live. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be shouting from the rooftops or you need to put someone in their place. It's not really it. However, you might find yourself wanting to do that. Hold on one second. There's this greater sense of accomplishment. You've put in a lot of work for a while now. And I think more than ever, Leo season is here to show you that, but also show you that you can't hold on to it all. You can't hold on to how much you did or who you used to be or what the situation used to be. You can only come from the place in which where you're at now. So certain illusions are being left behind, and that's important because once we come to the 4th, Mercury moves into Virgo, and I think that you're gonna feel so much yourself that you almost think it's your season. And then on the 11th, when Venus moves into Leo, you may feel very inclined to actually move upon, and you feel the courage oozing out of you at this point. You may understand why you felt the need to say, hey, I've done that shit. Or you say to yourself, all right, I've done that shit. Cool. Move on. Great. That's great. That's cool. So a lot of other people, what's going on? Well, there's more. You're finding that this Ace of Wands energy you can't have while you're holding on to whatever, again, was. There's something about the past. So even if you want a new start at the same person or in the same place, you have to realize what it was about you, what it was about the way you acted or the way you maybe, because if you do want a relationship, you may finding yourself, feeling that loving vibe of the summer. You still may find yourself very independent, very detached, very in your own lane. And by the end of the month, you realize what it actually is to give to another person and what you have and don't have to offer, and maybe what in the past wasn't possible of you. And now you're understanding why or understanding how, and you're going to bring that forward with you. You may have a deep gratitude for whoever shows this to you. I do think this is just you seeing this in yourself and the certain situations that you have this month. You find yourself being hit by certain conversations. Maybe when you wake up the next day, you don't realize how much it hit you. Maybe just in the midst of being out and social. So this is a very, again, personal month with how you choose to give and receive, how you did it in the past, how it looks now, and what you want to use. How do you want to incorporate what's not what's actually important moving forward, what you want to actually incorporate, and what you realize when your heart and your head come together, what certain things just can't. If you want to show this more, you have to pull back here. You have to see that this is no longer it. That you don't have to react that way anymore. That you have changed and you are changing. And to give yourself that credit that you felt coming into the season. Because you may be coming off some type of high. But there's a, and it's not like a bad thing, but there's a reality check that hits you right in the middle of the month in a way that is important for you. It's important for what you really want, Virgo. The human. You feel so human this month. And I don't think you've felt that in a very long time. And you know what I mean by that. Like, there's this deep sense of not only gratitude, but love that you're able to access this month if you can let go of whatever is unnecessary or maybe even in your head. All right, Virgo? Again, all information to work with me is below. Second part will be out on Patreon. And I'll see you in your birthday season.